Hey, it's midday, opening day. I seen some bucks this morning. I seen about 6 total. All of them were pretty small. There was one that I think might have been a mid-180s buck. He was big, long points, but not real heavy and not very wide. He was probably only 22 inches wide. You know, but man, he had some long points. I should have tried to get some video, but he was on an open side hill, and I was just hoping that a big boy was with him, so I wasn't messing with the camera. I was just getting ready in case a big one come out behind him, but it didn't happen. So anyway, it's midday, and I've been hunting pretty much all day. I did go back to the tent for about an hour or two and rested and had something to eat. After it, so I'm gonna go hit that same spot again. I've just been looking off the backside of this hill, and so I'm just kind of bouncing around from one spot to another, just trying to catch something out. See what happens. Midday, day 3, Monday. It's warm, obviously dry. And I hit my favorite spot this morning and saw nothing. And so then I quickly took off and I ran a long ways down a mountain and then up the other side to glass back across at a east-facing slope before the sun hit it. So I was booking it. My butt was kicked. But anyway, and so now today I'm just covering ground, trying to educate myself on the country. You know, some places that I've never even been into in my time hunting here in the past, and so I'm just trying to figure it out so that if I get weather and going forward, weather or no weather, I know places I can go hunt and hit. So looking at a lot of different little aspen pockets, because that's where them deer are right now. Is they're just in this thick stuff. You know, you get into some of these aspen pockets and stuff, and there's plenty of feed, and even in the pines around the aspen pockets, there's a lot of feed. You know, and these deer, I mean, they got a winter coat on right now. You know, they're set up for 20, 30 below zero, and when that sun's shining, I mean, just to have one part of their body in the sun is probably miserable. It's midday, day number 4, Tuesday, and it's not much different than yesterday. Super windy this morning. Went out to my favorite spot, saw nothing, and so then I headed into another spot just to take a look at it for the first time. It's just kind of a hot pocket, what I like to call these aspen stands up in the middle of the pines. There's deer that, you know, they hold up, that's where they live. And then usually when you get some snow, they'll either bail out of that country and head for the winter range, or you might be able to go back in there and find them in there. It's Wednesday night, 5th night of the hunt. It sucks up to this point. It really does. I haven't seen many deer at all. Not a lot of bucks. It's just really been poor. I'm really kind of sick of hunting. Anyway, but today, last few hours of daylight, we got, I think about 3 inches of snow here on my tent. You know, maybe a hair more, but not. And then the skies have been clearing, and it's supposed to snow off and on tonight and tomorrow, but I don't think it's just going to sock in and snow a lot. So, I'm hoping for a few more inches and then just some real cold so that it sticks around a day or two. That's my only chance, I think. The deer they haven't been moving. You know, maybe with some snow on the ground, maybe some snow covering up some of the feed in the pines will get them feeding in the aspens and the open a little more. Maybe it'll get them moving towards winter range. I don't know. But unless things change, it's not looking like I'm going to be successful this year. you guys think of that buck? Friday morning update. It's just before light. I'm getting ready to head out. I got about a half hour to light. Just getting ready to get out to where I like to sit to spot. So it's a cold, cold morning. Didn't get much of any snow last night, maybe an inch. So overall, in the pines, we probably have maybe 4 to 5 inches. Today will probably be the best day there is for hunting this morning. You know, once it starts to get daylight, them deer should start moving, and hopefully all day. So if I'm going to get one, it's probably today. But I have 3 days, and hopefully it stays cold today. I don't think it will. The skies are clear, so that sun will come out and melt almost all the snow, I'll bet, today. And then it'll be back to really tough. Midday Friday, 7th day of the hunt. I seen 2 bucks this morning. Take a look at this big tall one that's got long tines. Seen this buck. He was down in the bottom about 800 yards. And anyways, he's a really nice buck. I let him go. He just wasn't very heavy. Long tines, had some extras, real narrow. And then I seen another buck I didn't get on video that's got a real nice frame, fairly heavy with one extra inline. And I didn't want to mess with either one of them really, but I was still deciding. I don't know. I'm still, the one I think left the area. I don't know. I lost track of him, the narrow one. The other one I think is about 27 inches wide, and I think he's bedded down in here, but I haven't seen him. So I'm trying to get another look at him, but I think I might go check another couple spots and then come back here this evening. And he is a taker from here on out, I think. Unless I see more game moving or something, but the sun's come out, the snow's going to be gone soon, and the deer are going to get real hard to turn up. I mean, this buck bedded down while it was still like 6 below zero. So there you go. Anyway, so I'm going to go see if I can spot him, and hopefully I can show him to you. Alright, well, I had decided, I saw that buck that had the 2 extras on one side, the big tall one I showed you in the video, and I decided I wanted to try and get him. So I was just watching him, waiting for him to maybe bed, and then I spotted another hunter coming up the ridge. The hunter just bumped him out of the aspens, and the buck come running, and he kind of was coming towards me, and I tried to set up, and I just couldn't catch it, just couldn't find him in the scope, and anyways, he was able to get around the hill before I even got a shot off. So anyway, hopefully I'll see him again tomorrow. Just have to wait and see, I guess. Kind of bummed, because I thought for sure that if the hunter didn't bugger that buck out of that aspen pocket, I figured I could probably get in there and get a good shot at him. Guess that's the way it goes. It's the final day. This is it. If I can't make it happen today, it's tag soup. Anyway, I'm going to go back out to this spot where I like to glass from and see if I can pick up that 4x6. The buck, the big tall one, not real wide. He's a good buck. I mean, I really think he's in the high 190s. I could be wrong, but I think he's up there. So anyways, he's a slug. I want to get him if I can. The 4x5 I know is somewhere in here. And if that wide buck showed himself, I might have a hard time passing. So anyway, I'm going to hit it hard today and glass all the aspen pockets I can and try and find a buck. We'll see what we can do. Okay, that's the buck I'm going to try and kill. Okay, I just shot the buck. I looked at the tape real quick, and it looked like a pretty good hit. Maybe a hair high. I don't know. He ran. I lost track of him after about 80 yards. I'll go down there and track him before it gets dark. Well, not good. Not good at all. I lost the blood. I mean, it's getting too dark. I can't see it anyway. It looked like good blood. I'm going to have to come back in the morning and see if I can find him. Well, I looked at that video a little closer, and I think I I hit him above his spine. You know, I mean, you can see the trace of the bullet. You can see the bullet just as it enters him, and it's just too high. You know, I'm pretty sure I lost him. Had a long hike back the top of this mountain. It's gonna kill me, but anyway, I'll go take a look. I'll go look for him tomorrow for a few hours, and maybe I'll get lucky, but I don't think so. I think he's lost. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm sick to my stomach. I've been here for 10 days, going on 11. Hunted my butt off. Finally, the last day, I cut tracks, and they were fresh. I had just walked along the edge of some aspens where I had seen a buck a couple days ago. He must have still been in there, but he was in there with a doe and a fawn. Well, I've come back up the ridge, cut doe, fawn tracks, and then I could tell it was a big mature deer, buck. And so I thought, all right, maybe this is him. So I hurried down this pine side hillside, looked down the bottom, and there he was. But he went into the aspens, and I could see him off and on in the aspens, and it was just too far. And I sat there for, well, from noon, shot him at about 6:15, right as the sun was going down. So over 6 hours, I sat there waiting for him to present a shot, and finally he came out in the open, everything was set up for me, and I blew it. So I just want to puke. All that work, all that expense, all that hard, and then you screw up. So it's a bummer. Looks like he stood there, maybe. I don't know. Thinking he may have turned and gone down into here. He's still bleeding, but not a huge amount. And it looked, well, I got excited when I seen all that blood. No luck. He got out in this open stuff, and I think at this point he went for a trot. My guess, and this is my last, hope, is I'm guessing, just from what I know of deer, that they probably circled back and went back to them same aspens that they've been in for the last 2 days before I bumped him out yesterday. I'm hoping that he went over in there, just like he did here, gets over there, settles down, lays down, dies. I don't know. My guess is I'm not going to find him, but I'm going to go up there and go across this dirt side hill, see if I can cut some tracks. I already did it once and didn't see anything. But I don't think he would have stayed in this same stand of aspens. And they were, the last tracks I had of him, he was on his way out of them. Hope is still alive. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a whole pool of blood. He must have stood here for a bit. He's over in this pocket that I had bumped him out of yesterday. And that's a lot of, he stood there bleeding quite a bit. God, I hope he laid down soon after. Alright, that does it for this web podcast. Couldn't find the buck. The last I got was that pool of blood. I couldn't find any more blood or which direction he went. I could see what it looked like. It looked like he had stopped there and stood there along the edge of the aspens surveying his trail ahead out through the open. My guess is, once after he caught his breath, stood there for, probably stood there for 5 minutes bleeding, and then I think he, it was just bouncing out through there, and I think he just got around the hill. And anyway, I couldn't find, I crawled through a lot of dirt looking for some blood, and I couldn't find any more. So anyway, so there's a deadhead out there for somebody, and anyway, kind of a bummer, crappy shot. And overall, it's been an alright hunt. The first 5 days really wasn't that great, or first 6 maybe is what it was, I don't know. Once we got the snow, things picked up. Seen some bucks, seen this one and another one, and I passed on that wide one. I passed on shooting at him. Probably would have wounded him anyway. But anyway, so I had an alright hunt. There's been better for sure. I didn't see the you know, obviously the last year I killed that 210 buck, and you know, but that was a pretty special year. Usually you don't see deer of that caliber, you know, and when you do, I mean, I think I've only seen 4 of them in the last 10 years, and I've killed them all. So that just goes to show you how rare they are. So it isn't like I go out and see a bunch of 200 inchers. But anyway, my shot, it ended up being high. I'm sure of it. Not as high as I thought, but it was too high. It was about 4 inches too high. I think it should have been a little lower. I think it still hit him in the shoulder, but I think it was really high in the shoulder, and then it did go through his face, jawbone, so that probably screwed some of the flight up. But anyway, guess that's hunting, unfortunately. Sometimes we wound them. It's a bummer. Alright, that does it. Thanks. We'll see you. It's all the hunting for me this year, so I'm done. Next week we do a 3rd season Colorado hunt for my son Devin and my buddy Brandon. So that ought to be fun.